Guys, how we doing? Welcome to another THQ training video. And what we're going to be talking about and watching today with my THQ trainer, Matt, is about unilateral work and the benefits of unilateral work. Now, all that means is just single exercises, single movements, whether it's single leg, remaining deadlift, single leg squat, single leg anything really that's using a single movement, right? And obviously, this can be quite dangerous, so you need to be obviously under guidance of people who are taking you through a training program or have some experience yourself as well. But what I want to talk to you today is about who will benefit from this type of training and is it worth it? Now, the people that I think will benefit more from this is our beginners and longer limb individuals. Now, longer limb individuals and beginners have something called BLD, which is basically bilateral deficit, which you just have a harder time creating force generally over certain movements. So chucking in quite a few single exercises as well is going to help that really help us as we start to correct their movements, make weaker areas stronger. We're going to have a better time as we get more experienced producing the correct amount of force when it comes to shaping a body. When I'm talking about correcting, producing the right amount of force, it's when you really want to, you have that lagging body part or that body part that doesn't seem to change. And so chucking in some single movement exercise, some unilateral work is going to be very beneficial. So guys, let's take a look at Matt's training program today. I'm going to let him talk you through it.
So this workout, we're going to do unilateral training, which that means just working one limb at a time, okay? It's a really good way if you are using quite heavy weights in the gym for your lower body training and you haven't got that sort of weight at home, your limiting kit. It's a really good way to still create same sort of muscle building signal for your lower body as you were in the gym with your heavy weights, even though we've got limited kit at home we're at. So we're putting all the emphasis on one limb at a time. So we're demanding more from that specific muscle. So we don't need to go quite as heavy as we would in the gym. We're putting more weight and more emphasis on that one body part at a time, one limb at a time. All right. So really important to do unilateral work, especially when you've got limited kit, so you can demand a little bit more from the muscle. Another good reason to do unilateral work is you've probably noticed you've got muscular imbalances. You have one more dominant side, one more weaker side, especially legs, chest, arms. When you're doing an exercise, you'll notice that one side will go weak and fatigue more quickly than the other side. So when you do unilateral work, working one limb at a time, it will help bring those imbalances back up and create muscle.
So some points what you want to be taking from this now is that obviously we're in this home workout situation and we have more opportunity to do things like this as well. And it's going to be very beneficial if we work on these. When we get back into the gym, we're going to be able, if we're working on things like this, when we get back into the gym and we've got full access to the kit and we can train as hard as we can. And when we normally have these, like when you're doing your chest press and one arm gives away more than the other, and that really affects your whole workout. Whereas if we're working on these weaker areas now, and when we get back in the gym, your workout is going to be even more effective.
Balance around the body, we have symmetry, so the weak side is in line with your more dominant side to get that overall muscular balance in your body. Alright, so the lower body workout we're going to do today, quite technical exercises are, but we can change them up. So there is alternatives for each one if you struggle with any of them at all. Okay, so I'll quickly run through videos, just 3 different exercises.
See, now the point there is what Matt's trying to say is, yes, as he's making this program, he's just sort of picking out exercises that he thinks people might be weaker on. But when you're doing unilateral work, you have to be careful. You can't just do it randomly. So you have to really think about what you're doing. You have to really think, have you got the ability to do that? Can you communicate with your trainer to see if maybe we can do it in a more safe manner, or are these exercises actually going to work and be effective for what you want them to be? And then just talk to your trainer about like what your weak areas are, what movements you do find that you are giving up a little bit on certain body, certain like left or right or then type of movements.
We're going to do an entire set on one side of the body, an entire set on the other side of the body. Then we'll go on to the next exercise, entire set on one side of the body, the other set on the other side, and then the last one as well. So we're going to do 40 seconds on, 20 seconds rest. We're going to do 4 rounds all together, okay? So just 3 different exercises. We're going to start off by doing Bulgarian split squats. Okay, so one leg at a time. Just going to need either a seat or bench. Okay, nothing more than that. You don't need dumbbells. Do this workout, body weight, entirely body weight. You still get a good.
And he's pointing out there, you don't really need dumbbells now. Matt's been training for a long time, and you can see by his physique that he's going to be very stable in these movements. So maybe these movements they're definitely something that he needs to put into his program, but not as much as what a beginner or somebody that has a lot of long limbs and struggles with, say, barbell squats and things like that. So he has to eat, like, you can then bring things down to like just doing body weight. So you'll probably get just as much benefit of what Matt's getting now as more of an advanced trainer using dumbbells as you will body weight. Guys, stop. The thing is with training, a lot of us try and hurry up the process when we don't really need to hurry up the process, and we're actually missing out a very, very valuable step. Like, we can get a lot of gains by just doing body weight rather than rushing the process and maybe risking injury or more imbalances.
Bulgarian split squats, we're getting down deep as we can, pushing back up for the heel. Okay, we're going to stay on one leg all the way through this exercise. Okay, 40 seconds on, so you get 20 seconds rest, and we'll go on to the next leg. Okay, so back foot up, chest up, sinking hips straight down, pushing up for the heels. Alright, next exercise after that we're going to do on to your glutes.
Remember the different stages of the advancement of you can do it from the floor, you can do body weight, you can do then you can move on to dumbbells and then or just do it on your floor and dumbbells. There's loads of different variations. You can look at these programs and then communicate, and this is the process of understanding training, and training not just being exercise, it being training. And once it becomes training, you get a transformation. That's always been my opinion. When you get rid of this exercise diet and you've got training and I just eat well and I just train, that becomes a lifestyle. Then it doesn't become a fad.
Stay grounded, static lunges instead of Bulgarian split squats all the way through, and then swap sides for the next set. The glute work we're going to do, so stay exercise number 3 and 4, we're going to do single leg glute bridges, alright? Again, don't be away, but put as much demand on your glutes as you can. Put the shoulders on the bench, on your chair, take one foot flat, you don't want the leg too close to the body. Don't want it too far away, so nice and balanced, foot flat, weight balance. Take one leg straight. If you're using a weight, just pop it on that straight leg. We're going to sink the hips down as low as you can, and push up for a heel, squeezing the glute. Okay, so we're working that muscle on your bum. Up, squeeze as tight as you can at the top, slowly back down.
This is an absolutely fantastic exercise for really to work on unilateral work, because like it's something that you can really generate a little bit of force with a small muscle, but a lot of us just neglect, like we don't do things like this because sometimes it's a little bit harder to put ourselves in that position rather than just doing a squat or rather just doing a simpler exercise. It's taking the time to learn these, and when you take the time to learn these type of exercises, it really has a beneficial effect on your physique and your transformation and your performance and just everything all around, guys.
Right, got one set done, on to the other side, got the weight round, yourself nice and stable, sink the hips down, trip the heels, squeeze the glutes at the top, roll back down.
So when we're putting in single work into our programs, we're not trying to overcomplicate things or make things harder than what they are. Or sometimes, like we see members that, oh, this is like a rest station or things like that. It's not a rest station. This is a time to really work on these. And I hope what you've got from this video is that when you do exercises that are not necessarily as initially demanding, that they are going to have a lot of benefit as your transformation progresses.
The exercise on the floor, so it's exactly the same. Lying flat, one leg straight, pushing through the heel, squeezing the glute at the top, controlling back down. So one set the other, and now there's just one more exercise. exercise that we're going to do. It's quite a technical exercise, but again, there is alternatives. So we're going to do single leg RDLs. So we're going to get the dumbbells side of the body. We're going to hinge from the hips, keeping the back nice and straight, soft knees, and that back leg is going to come up. So we're getting a good stretch in the hamstrings, trying to get chest parallel to the ground, then we're powering back up. So back staying nice and straight, we're stretching hamstrings to get one set done. On to the next round, and we'll go on to the next leg. Same again. Rolling down, focusing on that balance. Powering back up. That's all the movements coming from the hips. We're hinging over in that chest parallel. You'll feel that good stretch and contraction down the hamstrings. Alright, so there are 3 different exercises. We're going to start off doing split squats. We can get warmed up and then we can get cracking. Okay, so it's 40 seconds.
All right, guys, I'm going to leave Matt there. He's going to take our members through that workout. I hope you've enjoyed that. And I hope you really start to really get a benefit from these training videos, guys. When you really start to understand training and you really take the time to understand training, that is when you get a true transformation. And what I've said is when you go from this like exercising diet loop and it's not something that you generally believe in, or it's something you just have to do. Whereas when you start just eating well, like eating well and training, right? Get yourself into that mindset and you will never go back. Trust me, you will never go back. But as long as it's just exercise to you and you see it as, right, let's just not really think about it, just get my heart rate up, burn a few calories, and then that allows me to eat a bit of a bad meal, you'll be in this terrible loop for a very long time until you get your head around this, guys. Take care. Hope this helps.